right? So maybe you can get started. Use the chat window to, yeah, you can briefly introduce what is your expectation out of this, any new technology you want to get started after getting some brief understanding of Java. So feel free to talk about it. It sets the background right. Okay, so yeah, seems like afternoon food has made people a little drowsy. Let's get started. Maybe in the between, we'll take a lot of Q&A. Okay, so why is Java so popular? It's been there for some time and it never loses its sheen, right? Why it is getting so popular with time? Okay, first thing is when Java came into picture, okay, people were using it as just a programming language. Okay, eventually what happened, people, lot of technologies started using Java. There was a lot of push. It was forwarded by Sun Microsystems, so there was a lot of industry push for it behind it compared to many of the other languages which started around the same time. Okay, just a quick check. Is my speaking pace fine with all, or you want me to cut down it? Just a quick check. Can anybody write something because I'm not seeing any movement in this? Right. Now it's fine. Okay, okay, cool. So that is how it all started. Okay, and a lot of technologies that includes your Android, that includes your big data technologies like your Hadoop. Right? All these things are written on in Java. Okay, okay. So that's how. Let's get started with some basic fundamentals. Okay, so regarding the installation and all, the best, there are many IDE, apparently the code editors. Okay, the one of the most popular one is your Eclipse. Okay, so this is the place from which we can you can probably download it. So you have various versions. Okay, so this is what the place is. You can download the latest versions, or there is a popular version, Eclipse Mars. Okay, you can get started with that. Okay, and knowing Java can open a whole lot of world to you. Okay, that includes your Android, that includes your big data technology that I was just explaining. Okay, and lot of enterprise level softwares, like more than 90% of the enterprise level software is written in Java. Okay, so as far as your jobs are concerned, you know Java, and along with it, you know some parallel technologies like like cloud computing, right? Like be it anything, right? It works in conjunction. Okay, so let's see, and let's get started with some basic understanding. In next 2+ hours, what we'll do, we'll try to build our fundamentals. Okay, how to get started, what are the basic concepts. Okay, how to execute the things, what are the various things in the editor to help you through. Okay, so this is, I have Eclipse Mars. Okay, this is some previous project. So how do I need to start a new project? So go to file, new. Okay, in case you have a completely new workspace, it will be little almost the same, but effectively you need to go to file, new. Okay, and so I'll name it my first Java. Next. Okay, so finish. So apparently you can see here, among many other things, my first Java, this came into picture. Okay, so Java has gone through a lot of versioning and a lot of course, and the latest one and the greatest one, of course, which has undergone severe changes, is your Java 1.8. And apparently we have integrated Java 1.8 to our course. So if you, this is the IDE. Okay, if you want to download Java 1.8, right, download, it will take you to Oracle's website. You can choose whichever platform you're running on, be it Windows, Solaris, right, or Linux, whichever platform you're running on, accept the license, and automatically the links are available for you to download. Okay, so on setting the things, this is the first step. We will be sending you the installation process step by step written in a document. So if you're a first timer, no worries with that. Okay, after that you have the source folder coming in here. Okay, you named it anything that you liked. You have source folder coming in here. You have your GRE. Okay, you right click on the source folder, go for a package. Okay, in the package you can name it anything like hello world. Okay, it created a package. So source folder is a placeholder where you will have all the packages. Packages are like, you know, uh, different groups, you can say. You can make multiple packages. Okay, you can make multiple packages. One is hello world, one is more work. Okay, and you will generally group same type of files in the same package. Okay, you'll group same type of files in the same package. For example, I want a star file, so new class. Okay, so you can see here few things. This is the page which opens up. Okay, you can see here few things. One is this main option, void main. Okay, and so for the first case you will tick it on. Okay, and why the reason? This main is the entry point for the program. I mean, this is where your program starts, the main. Okay, so you need to tick it on. You may choose to name the file anything, preferably with capital letter. First, hello world, and you do a finish. And it all created this file without writing a single line of code. This is the thing that is created for you. Let me go through it one by one what all these things mean, and eventually I will not be explaining few things here, but eventually at the end of it you will understand all the, you know, bits and nuts and bolts will be bounded together. First thing is the package name to which this particular class belongs. The package is hello world. This is the same name that you see here. Okay, next thing is, okay, okay, next thing is your file name. Okay, the file name to which this guy belongs. You might see a lot of things here. Public class file name. Okay, then you see this public static void. Okay, so one point to be noted here. Okay, we are at introduction, links, and finally the hello world. Okay, few points here to be noted, and I'll keep mentioning all these things here. The first point is, okay, the name of the file. Okay, the first point is there can be only one public class. Okay, I'll keep noting here. Can be only one public class. Okay, no worries with the class and all thing. I will explain on them all. Okay, just a quick check here how this main thing should be. There can be only one public class. So you have here the first hello world. Okay, there can be, and the only public class, and the only public class should have same name as file. Okay, this is where, you know, initially I've seen a lot of people getting confused. Okay, well, can we write it anything else? Okay, that's the reason why I specifically mentioned it. Okay, first thing is this name of it. If it is a public class, the name of it should be same as the file name. Okay, now Okay, this is the class which I'll explain shortly. Then you have this function here, main function. Main is a special function. Okay, this is the entry point to the Java program. Okay, now how does your Java program executes? Okay, you write your this file. Okay, you write your this file and you suppose run it. Let me just run an empty file, or just I'll just explain this. What is sysout? Yeah, so let me execute this hello world. Okay, and let me just run it. This is how you run it. Right click on the file. If it has the main file, understand it very well. It you cannot execute a file if it does not contain a main file. Okay, it cannot be executed directly. I'll show you how otherwise you can execute. Okay, but you cannot execute. I mean, the reason why this file has Java application available here, because it has main in it. Let me show the other way around. Let me create a file which does not have a main. It does not have a main. Second try. Okay, it does not have a main, huh? Okay, now you might think, okay, I want to execute it. You go to run. Okay, you don't see run as Java application. Okay, I mean, these are the things where you initially, if you're starting, you will be little stuck up. Okay, and in here you'll see run as Java application. Okay, and we'll see how it runs as. Okay, all okay, let me just come back a bit. Okay, Java typically, the one reason for which Java is very famous is its platform independence. Okay, no matter what the platform is, okay, Java can run without any changes at all in the code across any platform. Okay, be it Linux, be it Windows, okay, be it Solaris, be it what not. Okay, that's the reason why you can run, why, you know, what is Android based upon? Android is based upon Java. And why was Android, when Google was developing Android, they could have done anything with anything else, right? But why they choose to use Java as a basic framework is because of the inherent feature of Java to make it platform independent, of its platform independence. Okay, so the line that you hear in Java is write one, run anywhere. Okay, write once the code and you can exactly the same code you can run anywhere. And typically, the reason for the Java is platform independence is its JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Okay. Now, in this Hello World itself, I'll explain what is Java Virtual Machine. Java Virtual Machine is platform dependent piece of software which makes your Java program platform independent. I repeat, okay, Java Virtual Machine is a platform dependent piece of software which makes your program platform independent. What does this cause? Okay, uh, for example, you bring out a new device in the market. Okay, uh, the new device want to run some application on top of it. What you typically have to do it, you have to make sure that you port, that means the JVM, whatever you have, right, you need to port it on that particular hardware. And once you port it on that particular hardware, every Java program in this universe can execute on top of it. Is it clear? Can I get a quick check on JVM? Right, what is the purpose of JVM? Is it platform dependent? Yes, it is platform dependent, but this platform dependent thing makes your code platform independent. Right, can I get a quick check? How about Abhijit, Aisha, Prasanna, Rohit, Shenaz, and CPL? I'm not sure. Of course, is not a name. So, any questions? What is JVM? This you can use this chat and it's actually kind of private, so nobody else can see it. So you can ask literally anything. Okay, and trust me, nothing is whatever you ask will be useful to others as well. Okay, so you can have that mode as well. So feel free to use this chat unit to ask apparently anything and everything. Okay. Okay, so that is what your JVM is, and what JVM does is it makes your software platform independent. Okay, you bring a new hardware, cool, port the JVM on top of it. There are experts who will do that for you. Okay, or you can build a team out of it. Okay, you can port it the product, and on top of it you run any Java application. Okay, Now in here you see this this is the entry point of the program. Okay, and entry point, you'll see these words public static void, which I apparently didn't write. I just wrote this line. Okay, system out println, which I'll explain. But what it does, this thing is just, as for the time being, assume that this is printing. Okay, whatever you write here will be just getting printed. So let me right click on it here, run as Java application, and yay, your hello world program gets executed if this is your first time. Okay, now okay, now let's create a collection of classes. Okay, new class. Let's create some collection of classes. Like I'll not have my main here, I'll have simply class names. Okay, some information, classes. Okay, now you can have a file without public class as well. So let's name it class student. Okay, and one file can have 255 classes. So feel free to as student, teacher. Okay, student, teacher, employee. Okay, so this is a file which has collection of classes. You have three classes: student class, teacher class, employee class. Now let me explain what is class. Okay, class precisely is a type. Okay, like we have primitive data type like int, float, we have all these things, right? So class precisely helps you, I mean lets you define a user defined data type. Okay, class precisely lets you to define a user defined data type. That means apparently after you do this, there are three new data types which got created. We have a student, we have a teacher, we have an employee. Okay, now let's see what is student. The student class, okay, can consist of many things. Okay, and apparently few things that we are interested now is name. Okay, so and say int age. Okay, so let's see what happened with this. You created a type student. That means after you have created a type of student, you can definitely, okay, after you have created a type of student, you can definitely create student, real student objects. Okay, understand that this is just a type that you are defining here, just a type. You're not creating any memory, creating any object, just a type that you're defining here. And what are the information in the type? One, you have a name, you have an age. Okay, you have name, you have age. Similarly, teacher, of course teacher will also have name, and teacher will also have uh, number of subjects. Okay, and similarly employee will also have a name, and employee will have a salary. Employee will have salary. I made all of them of same type, nothing nothing interesting, but all of them of same type. Okay, so what is here? You are defining a student class, you are defining a teacher class, you are defining an employee class. Okay, so what is here defined so far? It's just a type that you have defined. Precisely, you have not created any memory, any object for this, just a type. Okay, so how do you create? Okay, just to get some more sense of the class thing. So anything in this anything around you, right, can be, suppose anything around you can be modularized as an object, right? For example, you have to write a software for traffic management. For example, you are into a company and some client comes to you and they want you to write a software on traffic management. So what are the way now? That is a real world problem. Apparently that's what you will be doing most of the time. You get a real world problem. Okay, it is easier to map real world things with objects. Like, you can say in a management software, what are the various entities that will be present? You'll have a vehicle entity, you'll have a signal entity, you have a cop entity, you have a public entity, you have a bus entity. So you have all these entities there in real world. Okay, which you can map to the software world.
Okay, the mapping of this real world entities to software world, so that you can play around and do more modularized programming, is known as object oriented programming. Like what you're doing in your uh, real world, in your software world, you're mapping the real object which you see outside to some to real object, to some class objects. Okay, and what is your class is the type. So if you're designing a management, if you're designing a, what do you say this, traffic management software, there will be various classes: class of police, class of person, class of signal, right? You'll have various such classes. Okay, and every time a particular human enters into that zone, an object is created out of that class, right? So let's see. Okay, so in this class we see we have three classes. Let's see what is the, okay, now one point here to be noted: you have all the classes defined inside the same package, hello world. Okay, you have everything defined inside the same package, hello world. Okay, so all the classes that you have it here will be available to you. Like for example, you want to create a student object, student s is equal to new student, right? So what you did here, you are creating an object of the class student. Okay, so what are you doing? You're creating a student object, you're creating an employee object, right? And if you do s dot, you remember we defined age and name. So let's create some name here. Okay, so that is the name of the student object, and apparently the age part of it. Okay, so what you did here, with this line, with line number 11, as of you define, I mean, by making a student class, you legitimately created a class of type student. Now because of that, you can create objects of it. How are you creating object? New class name. Okay, new class name. New class name will create a student object. So that's what happened here. Okay, it created a student object for you. Okay, the student object has the name ZekeLabs and age 30. Okay, so this is the student object for you. Okay, and this name and age are member variables of that class. Okay, we have first of all we have name as a member and age as a member, right? So what you did here, you created a object of student class and assigned few values here. Okay, so this is what you call is object creation. Okay, this is what you call is object creation. Now this object and class, these are your user defined types, right? Objects are physical existence of class. Classes are more of the theoretical concept, how a particular object would look like. Okay, so prior to user defined classes, we had primitive data type like in, float, car and all. Okay, we just now executed our hello world program. Okay, so we have a student object here. Okay, similarly, can we do this e dot name and salary again? Suppose this is the name, e dot
salary. Okay, so what you did, you created another object. Okay, you created another object, employee. Okay, and you have teacher, new teacher, name, subjects. This is the number of subjects it takes. So what you did here, we created 3 classes, 3 objects out of it. Okay. Okay, a few things about classes. Okay, they always remember what is it. It is a representation of how an object possibly would look like. Okay, why do you need it? Because in most part of the world, your software needs to be mapped to what is the physical world. Like for example, you are making a retail software, right? In that case, you will have lot of inventory information, like where everything is an object. So that's what you will do. Like okay, so you'll have lot of inventory information, like all this information you want to retain in the memory, right? That is what when you do object creation of the class. Okay, in Java you don't have to do free, right? If you are coming from C++ background, you have definitely wasted a lot of your time finding where to do free and all that. Okay, so in Java, you typically don't have to do free and all. Okay, automatically, if the variable usage goes to 0, okay, the garbage collection mechanism in Java kicks in and it removes the particular element. Okay, now let's see if we more things. Okay, how do you create array of students? Students. Oh, sorry. Right, so what you did here, you created an array of students. So in this line, what you did here is you created an array of students. Okay, so what is an array? It is a contiguous piece of memory which can hold similar type of objects. So this line is capable of, okay, this line is capable of holding, okay, holding 10 elements, okay, 10 student elements. Okay, it's capable of holding 10 student elements. So let's see, but remember, you haven't allocated anything. You haven't allocated anything. So if you do something like this, okay, if you try to print something like this, it will throw exception, null pointer exception, because you haven't allocated anything in this array. To allocate something things to this array, you either you do a loop and pick up each element and allocate, or you typically do this. Okay, so what it will do, it is allocated the 0th element, right? Similarly, if you want to allocate the first elements, okay, and so on. Okay, and of course nobody likes to write such piece of repetitive code, right? So what is the other way around for this? You initialize this with a loop. Okay,
Now if you want to find the length of the array, okay, I plus plus, okay, now this is the length of it. So what do you want to do now? You want to allocate all of the elements, students, new, okay. So what you did typically here, you allocated an you allocated an array of 10 student objects, right? So I'll just explain what is it. Just allocated an array of 10 students. Okay, so since I'm not using any of these, I'm just commenting it. Okay, now that's what has happened here. Okay, you allocated 10 students objects, so you can play around with anything and all. Okay, the next thing is, okay, these are your information about that particular class. The next thing is you want some member functions. Okay, you want some member function in the sense something which can work on the object. Like for example, you want to define a function here, void. What are the things that you can do to a student? Make the best thing people love to do is punish. Okay, so okay, so we are uh, okay, so what we are doing here is we have this function here. Okay, and what it is doing, this is the function which works on student object. Okay, if they want to punish student object, student. Okay, then people, suppose you want the student object wants to do something like play. Okay, student plays. Okay, if the student wants to play, got it, right? Student wants to play. So now there are two type of functions that you will define. Okay, I'll just mention it, and I mentioned in the slides as well. Things that can be done by the object, like student can play, can run, can study, do whatever you want, and things that can be done on the object. So these are the two categories which will become member functions. Okay, things that can be done on the object. Things that is done by object. Okay, so these are two categories. Now what is happening here, you have student great. Okay, and student wants to play, student number 5 wants to play, so students say 5. Okay, and you give him a chance to play. Okay, students 2. Right, so what is happening here, your student number 5 is playing and you are punishing student number 2. Right, so that is how essentially it is happening. You are creating a array is like, I mean, the code and everything will be available to all. Okay, so here is the array creating. Now you are adding member functions. Okay, so you have member information, what you say is member parameters, whatever we had, like name, age and all. Now you are adding this member functions. Okay, so class encapsulates. Okay, class encapsulates member functions and member variables. Okay, so few things, if you are new to Java, there are few things you need to understand it here. Okay, so say you have two objects, two student objects, student 0, student 1. Okay, they are physically present in different piece of memory. Okay, they are physically present in different piece of memory. So there are two name, two age, right? Okay, so there are two name, two age and all. Okay, so if you change in one, the other doesn't get changed. Okay, and before I proceed further, there is a quick way to see the contents of the class. Okay, so the quick way to see this is you can implement, okay, two string function. Okay, so go to source. It's very popular way of generating code. Okay, feel free to use it. Go to source, go to toString. Okay, you can see here this toString function automatically generated this. What is the beauty of this is, right, whenever you are executing this, whenever you are executing, let me see, student S is there, right. Let's see, right click here, run air, run application. So you can see here, this is the way the contents of student object S is getting printed, and we call this play and punish function. This is the contents of play and punish, right. This is the contents of play and punish. Okay, and this is two string function. Just see it once again. Two string functions will print, will generate a code which will actually print all the contents of the class. Okay, so as of now, let's just revisit. We can make a class, we can make member variable, we can make member functions, how we call member function, how we can create arrays of a class. Okay, okay, and let's move to next topic. Okay, yeah, string. So string is a very powerful and uh, what do you say? String is a very powerful and a very useful inbuilt library. Okay, let's see. String examples. Okay, let's see. So hello, here I come again. Okay, so what you did here, you created a string S which is pointing to a piece of memory which holds this data. Hello world, here I come. Okay, it is creating a reference S which is pointing to a piece of memory which holds this data. Okay, now what are the things that is possible here? One point to be noted, string is immutable. String is immutable. That means you cannot change the contents of the string. Okay, so you actually cannot do this, right? You cannot do this. You cannot change the contents of the string. Of course, this is what you can do. Okay, this, of course, this is what you can do. You are making S point to a different piece of string. So remember, string is immutable, but at the same time it can point to anything else. Okay, now let's see some string library related stuff. Okay, for example, okay, s dot, if you do, you can see here lot of inbuilt utilities. Okay, lot of inbuilt utilities. Okay, for example, you want to check if the string contains something like some pattern, like here. Okay, you want to quickly check if the string contains some pattern. Okay, let's see this Java application. You can see it is coming false. Yeah, why this is coming false? Because now your string is pointing to this line, s is pointing to this line. Let's comment it. Okay, let's just run it. True, because this contains it. Similarly, suppose you want length of the string. Okay, similarly, you have character at 2. Character at 2. Okay, let's see this. You can see the L here. If I make it 0, right, you can get H here. Okay, so this is your string library. You can do a lot of things here, and just you know, suppose you will always see this thing, and sometimes a little confusing. String s1 is equal to great world. Okay, and string s2 is equal to great world. Okay, can I get a quick check if s1 equal to s2? Okay, will it be true or not? Can I get a quick check? Everybody feel free to answer this. Use the chat window to answer this. Feel free. No, I have some answers. No. Okay. How about others? Think about it. Abhijit, yeah, there are two Abhijit here. Okay. He's saying yes. Okay. How about others? Ankit, Pragya. Rohit, I got all few answers. Let's see. Oh yeah. So they are same, right? So anybody wants to explain why they are same? Okay. If you already know, let's see this case and now tell me. S S3 is equal to new string great world. Okay, if that is the case, how about it now? How about it now? S1, S2, S, S3, S2. How about it now? S1 is validating S2. Okay. How about others? False. Right. Why is it false? Let me execute this and you'll see a difference in behavior. Why? So only first part is coming true. This part is coming false, right? Okay. So any answers for this? Okay, so you see here two difference, right? So first thing is whenever you are doing this, your strings are allocated into string pool. This is the specialized area. Okay, so whenever you're doing this in the first line, it sees if there is any great world present in the string pool. String pools means some placeholder where a lot of strings are floating around, right? So in this first line, S1 is pointing to, I mean, when you're doing this, it first check whether there is something already similar to in the string pool. Yes, use that. No, create one. So let's assume it created one in this case. Okay, so the reference is same, the address is same, and what typically this equal to line is doing here is comparing the addresses. So the address is same when it is doing this, because if the data is already present in the string pool, it will pick that up and use the same reference for the next assignment. Okay, and but in this case, this is not allocating the great world string from string pool, it is allocating it from heap. Okay, heap is another piece of memory where all the dynamic, I'll mention it here, heap, another piece of memory where, not another piece of memory, it's a piece of memory where all dynamic memory allocation happens. Okay, so this is string pool from which this guy is getting allocated. I'll just note it down, getting allocated from string pool. Okay, and this is getting allocated from heap. Very, first timers, a lot of time they spend, if they, because we have a tendency to allocate like this and sometimes like this. Okay, and if they get into this situation, a lot of time is spent. So the safest way how you can compare to string is, any guesses? Any guesses? What is the best way to compare two string? Come on, fast, anybody? No, not string comp. Fast, fast. Anybody? There is something known as equals. Okay, equals is the best way to compare two string. Okay, so no matter what, it will compare the contents of the string rather than the addresses. Is it clear? Compare the contents. It will work for both the cases, right? S2, S3 and S1, S2 both. Right? You can see S2 and S3. Okay, so whenever you are doing a string comparison, you should always use this equals. Clear, everybody? Can I get a quick check? Yes, no? Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's proceed further. Okay, so this was our string library. This was our string class. Okay, inbuilt. So you can explore a lot of other inbuilt utility. Let's proceed. Okay, now before we go into relationships of classes and all, one more thing I would introduce here is access specifiers. Okay, throughout you will see this private, public, protected. Okay, I'll use one small program and the confusion will be clear, for the entire life. Okay, and for that, what will I do? I'll create one class inside this another package. Remember, I created two packages, hello world and more work. Okay, let me create a package here, class here, grade Java. Okay, so I created a class here, grade Java. In this class, okay, in this class I have this public int age, public int time. Okay, so I have a class in another package itself, which is grade Java, and what you have here is time as some information. And let me create a brand new public main class here, main access specifiers.
Okay, access specifier, and now we'll understand what is this private, public, and all that. Okay, let's create one class here as well. Yes, you can do that as well. Okay, class uh, information public, some age, some information. Now when you are doing a information I is equal to new information, information, right? So you can see here, if I do I dot age, it's in green and it's available to you, right? Okay, similarly if you are writing protected, this is another type, right? Int pass, the other type is private, int fail, and the other type is this piece of information. Okay, so you can see here, these are the 4 access specifier in Java: private, protected, public, protected, private, and default. This is known as default, where you don't mention anything. Remember, unlike in C++, in Java, private, public, and default is not same. Okay, public and default is not same. So we have 4 specifiers. We can see here, we can access age, we can access protected, right? We can access uh, we can access default, but are we able to access, okay, but are we able to access fail? No, right? The reason why this is not accessible is because it is private. Okay, so what is private variables? First, private data type. So private means the piece of information is available only inside the class and not otherwise. Okay, okay, so I'll write down the property here: available only inside the class and not otherwise. Okay, that is your private. Okay, now let's see public. Public is accessible anywhere. Okay, public is accessible anywhere, outside the class, inside the class. Okay, now let's just do one more comparison. Now you can see here public, private, int minutes, protected, protected in hours. Okay, and in seconds, suppose. Okay, suppose this is a piece of information. Now suppose you're in this right? Let me create an object of, so great Java gj is equal to new import, right? So okay, so you can see here, let's understand this import thing as well. Okay, what are you doing here? Import, this is another package. So if you are defining things in the same package, okay, if you are defining things in the same package, you didn't mention the package name. But if you are defining things outside the package, you are mentioning the package name, and this is how you're doing it: package name dot class name. Okay, package name dot class name. Okay, now if you do a thing here, like this is the class which is defined in another package. Okay, you can see here automatically what are the piece of information that is available here. Okay, only public, right? You can see here you have protected, private, default. Nothing is available here, only public, right? GZ dot only one information is available, time. Okay, so understood the difference between classes which is defined in same package compared to the classes which is defined in a separate package, right? In the same package, okay, in the same package, all the information is available to you apart from private. In the different package, only public information is available to you, not even the protected. Okay, I'll show some more things when I do inheritance and all these things, but everybody understood what is pub and protected makes private and public, everybody understood, right? Default, right? Default means, default is like public only in same package, but outside the package defaults are not available. That's the reason where when I define this in seconds, this information is not available. So in the same package, defaults is like public. In the across the package, default is not available. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's see this. First access specifier, right? So everybody is clear about public, private, protected. I haven't explained because for that I need to explain easier relationship, and what has happened to things, to classes which is across different package. Can I get a quick check? Is it clear to all? Yes, no? Use the chat window to let me know about it. Okay, cool. Okay, now, okay, let's see some relationships in classes. Okay, so let's make a class human. Oh, I made a different package itself. Okay, let me delete it. Okay, new class human. To change, right? See this tool. To change the name of a file, you have to use refactor in Eclipse. Rename. Okay, change it, then change it. Finish. Okay. Now human. Then we have. Okay, let's define something in human class. What are the things a human could possibly have? A name, age, uh, name, age, can be address. Okay, so and what are the things possibly human does is void play void eat. Okay, so these are the things a human does, and these are the okay, so let me time to play, time to run, time to eat. Okay, so here they are. Okay, so you have a human class here. Okay, this is all the things human does. But suppose in your business, right, or suppose there is something already existing, but one day you feel like, you know, you need to add more functionality.
Okay, so now I want to make an employee class. Now this human became an employee. I want to make it an employee class. I want to add more functionality, right? You know, go to office, salary, a lot of other things I want to add. But it's not a great idea always to do some this additional editing things on the existing code. Okay, because that would cause a lot of issues, bugs. Okay, and you might have to do a lot of testing again to test the stability of the framework. Okay, so what is the best way to do this? Okay, the best way to do this, extend this or ease a relationship. Okay, so let me create a student class or employee class. Employ employee. So this is what I'm doing is why is it causing already defined. Okay, so I might have to rename it. In this case I'll make it student, or even student is also defined. So let me name it good employee, right? So good employee has, I mean, good employee is an extension to human. So you will write extends, that is the keyword, to human. Okay, so good employee extends human class. Okay, good extends human class means it inherits everything that a human class has. Okay, it inherits everything that a human class has and adds more to it. For example, you might want to add in or say float salary. Okay, what you're doing, you're extending float salary. Okay, then is there anybody, see, if you want to ask any question, use the chat window. There was some question regarding virtual question, not of the website. You can use chat window of the GoToMeeting. You can see a chat thing over there. Write anything, it will reach here because we are getting some questions from our website chat window. The question was that what is the use of virtual function? So is there anybody here who is asking it? You can use this window. Let me. You must be getting a pop-up from me. Hi. Reply to that, and you will be able to talk using it. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about extending your human class. Okay. So here, what you did, yeah, we will talk about polymorphism and all. Just give me a few minutes. I'll be able to talk about it only after these relationship. Okay, so we have good employee extends human, and in this good employee, okay, you have few parameters here: float salary, mm, uh, string office, right, and void go work. Okay, void attend meetings. Okay, void attend meetings, go work. Okay, all this information is there. Now okay, let me just print some logs. Time to attend meetings. Okay, then go to work. Okay, so we have the information here. So what is it? This good employee. Okay, let me create a test class, test case for this. And you want, I want main here. Okay, so what do you want to do here? Okay, I want to create a good employee object. Good employee, is equal to new good employ. Okay, now if you do ge dot, you can see here I'll get all base class. You can see here I'll get all human base class member variables, right? I'm getting all derived class member variables. So there are various naming conventions. The base class, that is human, that is also known as parent class. Okay, the derived class, your good employee, is known as derived class or subclass. Okay, or the base class is also known as super class. So you'll hear a lot of jargons here and there everywhere. Okay, like you can see here, this is a base class or the super class information: age, address, age, employee, the address, age, name. Attend meeting is coming from its derived class. Salary is coming from its derived class. ET is coming from again base class, right? And so on. Okay, so you want to call some derived class function like this guy. Okay, and you want to call some base class function like this guy. Sorry, let's see. Let me test it. Run as Java application. You can see here, this is calling base class function, derived class function. This is calling base class function. Is it clear to all? Okay, what is a relationship? So what you call is good employee is a human. A subclass is a type of superclass. This is the is a relationship. Okay, so what you'll write? Subclass is of type superclass. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions? Hi Pragya, yeah, you have any questions? You're not able to connect to audio. Uh, is everybody fine with the audio? So maybe you can reconnect your headphones or something. Okay. Somebody from our team will be calling you. Okay. Let's see now. Let's see now. Okay, so you have this base class and derived class. Okay. Now let's see a few things. Let's see what is constructors. Okay. Suppose you want to create. So in this case, the best part about this source is you can generate almost everything. Constructor is using field. You do that here. So what you did here, you just created a constructor using. Okay. Now in good employee, okay, and now when you're creating this good employee, so what are the various things you have to pass?
name ZekeLabs. Okay. What are the other things? Uh, name, age, address. Age is address is AECS layout. Sorry. Okay. So you're create. So what is this? So as of now, I was creating an empty object. Right now, I have started passing some information over here. This information, good employee, comes and feeds here. This information. Right. This is the argument here. Okay. So this is known as constructors. Okay. So let me talk about. Okay. So uh, yeah. So constructors. Okay. Constructors are invoked implicitly whenever you are trying to create an object. Okay, so there are various types of constructor. One is zero argument constructor. Zero argument constructor means it does not take any argument. It does not take any argument. Okay, and good employee, right? So that this is complaining because this will call the base class function, which will explain, and base class is here, public human, right? Okay, so you have this. You have this base class. Okay, so two things. Okay, this is a zero argument constructor. Let me write it here. Okay, zero argument constructor. Okay, that means it will not take any argument. And this is three argument constructor. It is taking all the arguments. So whenever from the test class you are invoking this, you're calling this three argument data and three argument constructor, and this guy is coming here. This guy is coming here. It takes three argument constructor, and the information is here, and you can see something super here. Okay, so super means calls base class constructor. Okay, super means it calls base class constructor. Super means super class. What is super class? The base class or the parent class. Okay, so it will call super base class constructor. Okay, so let's see how are the things. So we have the employee test. I'll just comment these lines. Okay, so we have just one constructor called here, getting called here. Good employee is there. So in this good employee, I'll just log it something here. Sys out in in the derived class constructor. Okay, and you can see as soon as I'm writing it here, it is turning to be red. Okay, that means error. One point. Okay, one point you should remember here. One point you should remember here that whenever you're calling the base class using super, okay, that should be the first line in the constructor. Okay, there should be absolutely no lines of code before it. Okay, this should be the first line in the constructor, first legal line. Okay, so whatever you want to log it or do it, have it after that. Okay, so it calls this guy calls your base class constructor. Base class is your human. So let me log something here. There is nothing to be called in this case super, because there's no super here. Actually what it does is it calls its base class. So what is the base class of this human? See, the base class of, okay, the super class of any class, right, which does not have any base class is a super. right? Is your object class, is your main class. So every class, okay, if it does not extends anything, is extending by default the object class. Okay, by default extend calling your object class. So let me log something here in base class. Okay, right, in base class. Let me run the test. Okay, run as Java application. So you can see first, okay, from here first it goes to your good employee. After going to good employee, then it goes to your base class of this, right? There it printed in base class, it finished the work, came here, printed in derived class constructor. Okay, so whenever you're calling, everybody understood how to call base class constructor from derived class constructor? Yes, a quick check. So everybody understood what is super? Is it not clear? Shall I repeat it again? What is super? Okay, so you have the super class. Super means the base class of it. Okay, so from constructor is a inbuilt function, okay, which we can override. That's what we are doing here. Okay, and which whenever you are creating object, constructor is invoked. Okay, so let's see. We have this base class, we have this guy. Okay, super. Let's see. Okay, so you can see on and how are you generating the constructor? Right click source, you can see constructor using fields. Okay, almost everything is here. Okay, let's see what all we can do. Okay, so now we understand E is a relationship. Okay, now I'll just introduce you to the protected part of it and how it is different. Say your this class is there, right? Grade Java. Now what I want to do here is, in my first hello, not in my first hello world, in my information, right here. So I want to do one thing. Class, what was the grade test Java? Okay, and what it does is typically extends, it typically extends more Java. Okay, and let's see. So what are you doing? You're extending a class which is present in another class, another package, and inside this suppose you have a function void fun. Okay, if you do this dot, so you can see here automatically from grade Java hours is coming in. Was it showing up before, like in GJ hours was there? No, right? Only public was there. Now apparently hours is there. Okay, so if you do this dot, hours is there, right? And what is the type of hours? Hours is protected. Okay, now uh, now what has happened is, if you
what is difference, what is protected? I mean, very confusing question for beginners. Okay, what is protected? So if you have a class which is defined in another package, and if you're extending it here, all the protected information will be visible to you as protected. Is it clear to all? Okay, so that is what protected is. Protected means, see, default and private is not visible to you outside and the package. Protected is visible to you only if you extend the class which is outside the package. Is it clear? Okay, cool. Okay, the next is, the hazard relationship. Okay, for example, let me create a new class. Has relationships. Class, suppose uh, uh, person, person. Okay, and you have another class, address. Okay, so we have this address, we have the person. Okay, string street. Okay, now let's see, the person has and let's see, string country. Okay, address addr, string name. Okay, so string name and okay, so what you see here, that the person class contains or has an address. Okay, the person class has an address. So let's see how you allocate it. So person p is equal to new address, person. So p dot you can see address here is equal to new address, right? So now p dot addr dot, you want to assign some country, some street. Country is equal to India. P dot addr
Okay, street. Okay, street. Street, say AECS. Okay. Now, so what you did here, you created a person object. Okay, person class. Inside the person class, you have an address class. So how are you allocating the address class? It's like this. Okay. Okay. Okay, and the information. Okay. So this is the person class, this is the address class, this is the way how you are assigning it. Is it clear? What is has a relationship? Right. Okay, so this is your hazard. That means this person class has address. It can have multiple of this. All right. You can have array of addresses. You can have multiple placeholder for this. Okay. So every you understood. So as of now, what we have seen is all the classes. Okay. All the classes has what do you say? The definitions completed, the member variables done. Okay. So that is not always the case. Okay. You can of course have classes which is incomplete. Okay, and those are called partial class implemented classes or abstract classes. Okay, let's see what it means. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, class. uh, okay, let me explain the concept of abstract classes. Okay, uh, let's see one builder example. Okay, suppose builder is there, right? Builder is making house. Okay, when builders are making house, is that house livable after he is done? What does the builder make? He typically makes walls, the corridors, the major stuff, right? He does not do interiors and all. And as long as the interiors are not done, you cannot stay there, isn't it? So what is abstract class? So what does builder do actually? After making the house, he hands over the house to someone who can do interiors. Okay, the interior guy does the job, then it hands over to house somebody who do finishings. Then after the finishing guy, so everybody is doing something, but not completely. Okay, not completely. He does the work that he has expertise in and moves the work forward, moves the chunk forward. Okay, so that is what is abstract class. Abstract class means incomplete class, a class which has some definition, some work and all, but does not have everything in it, because at this point of time, okay, at that point of abstraction, okay, it is not clear how to do that, like, or it does not want to do that. Okay, let me just explain. Suppose builder, class builder. Okay, so int walls. Okay, okay, int walls, int corridors. We have walls, corridors. Okay, then void make walls, making walls done. Okay, similarly void um, interiors. So builder cannot do this, he will not be able to do this. What he does, he makes that function abstract. Okay, abstract means he does not know how to implement. And whenever anything in the class is abstract, the class also needs to be abstract. Okay, so abstract means, have that idea, it is partial implementation. So at many stages of a program, you won't be able to, you won't be able to do something. Like in this case, the builder, when it is doing this everything, he won't be able to do interiors, so he will make the function abstract. Boss, you, and what, there are few information you try to pitch in here. Okay, first, you cannot make uh, objects of, okay, you cannot make objects of uh, abstract classes, right? And the reason is because it is incomplete. It is incomplete. Okay, secondly, okay, um, okay, so yeah, I'll add more details. So here is the idea. So now if you are trying to make builder object, you won't be able to, because it is an abstract class. Okay, abstract class is a partial implementation. You cannot make objects out of it. Okay, now suppose you do builders. B is equal to new builders. Okay, you cannot do it because it is abstract. Okay, so the other way to do is class in t interiors extends builder. And in this case, you will see this is not happy. Go wherever you see errors, right? Take your mouse here, add and implemented functions, right? It's all set. So you of course cannot create of this. You can create interiors. Okay, so what are you doing here? You're creating the interiors. Okay, and you can see a beautiful thing here that is happening. What is this? This is your new derived class. Okay, this is your new derived class. Okay, you are extending your base class here, and see here you have a base class variable and you have a derived class object. Okay, so you have a base class variable and you have a derived class object. So what are you doing here? Okay, this is what is called dynamic polymorphism. Okay, okay, so just two concepts got. Okay, this is dynamic polymorphism. Okay, so first thing here, but of course you, this is the class which is extending your base class, so you are eligible to create an object of this. You cannot create an object of this base class. Okay, here you have defined the unimplemented function. So this will be the interior guy who will be making the interiors, actually making interiors. Okay, and what are you doing here? You are creating a derived class object, assigning it to the base class. You can also do this. Interiors I is equal to new interiors. Okay, so you have this derived class, you have this Okay, so this is derived class variable holding derived class. This base class variable holding derived class. This is dynamic polymorphism. Few points to be noted here. In dynamic polymorphism, you will all get all the functions that is defined in the base class. Suppose you add something new here, right? It won't be available in that case. Void fun, right? It won't be available here. Okay, fun won't be available, but it will contain everything that is there in the base class, builder class. Is it clear? It will contain everything that is present in the builder class, but not anything that is present in here. Okay, so this is your abstract class. Okay, abstract class can contain one abstract function, or it can contain no abstract function and still it can be an abstract class. So many times you don't want anybody to create object of a class. You make that abstract. Is it clear? Many times you don't want to create objects, don't want to let anybody create object of a class. You make that class abstract. Okay, so suppose this is a class, abstract class, happy new year. Okay, and you don't want anybody to create object of it. Okay, so this is your abstract class. Okay, so you can have an empty abstract class. Okay, let's see the next thing. Now suppose you, any questions, anybody, any questions at all? Okay, I'll see one more concept, then I will take all the Q&A. Suppose you want to create an interface. Okay, so what is an interface? Okay, interface, what do you say, whenever you're designing some work, right, the first thing that you do is you don't know how to implement anything and all. You just give a rough idea what all things. For example, in society there is something like good boy interface. Okay, and you don't want to tell how to become a good boy, but you tell you, okay, what are the things you need to do to become a good boy. So void study. If you study, definitely you are a good boy. Okay, so void uh, do job. If you're doing any job, definitely you are a good boy. Okay, that is our society's. Okay, uh, do study, do job, eat eat at time, eat right. Okay, so among many other things, I chose these three things. If you're doing this, so that is what society. So interface is like a, like something. If you want to become a good boy, you do these things. Okay, for example, you might have interface president. Okay, if you do, if you want to become a president, or rather if you are a president, you will do the things that is mentioned in the interface president. Okay, so if you want to become a good boy, you will, what will do, you will implement all these things. So and one class want to become a good boy, class uh, good student, right? So we have this class good student, it wants to become a good boy. Okay, so what will it do? Implements good boy. Okay, so automatically you see you are inheriting this method, these methods.
Okay, so
okay, so you can see here you have a interface good boy and good student is implementing these things, right? You can do the implementation. Now if you want to create a class, okay, to create a class good boy, say usage good student test. Okay, if you are in this, okay, so good student ts is equal to new good student.
Hello.
Yeah, you wanted to ask something? Yeah, so it became a good void. Now apparently you have all the functions available to it, right? Okay, so that is what interface is. Interface you'll define in the first stage of your product development. Okay, you might not know what are, how to define it, how to make it happen, but you are defining the steps. Okay, and essentially if any of the things, say interface are like guidelines. Okay, set of if you do this you become this. If you have good student interface, if you want to become a good student, right, implement the good student interface. Okay, this guy good student wanted to be, mm, where is it? Okay, so we have good boy who is implementing good boy. Good student is implementing good boy interface. That means good student is definitely good. You can implement multiple interface also. Okay, for example, if you want to become a good boy as well as a player, not interface, a class. Okay, you want to become a player, interface player. Okay, and this is an interface. So what are the things you need to do in the player? Void play time. Okay, okay, this is the play. Now okay, now you have this play. Okay, so here comes the next stuff. Okay, play. Okay, and you have uh, good employee here, right? No, no, not good employee, good student, right? And you are doing it here, play or player was it? Player, right? Yeah, player. And if you are implementing player, you are implementing more unimplemented method play. Now this good student is a good boy as well as player, right? You can have multiple levels. Is it clear, everybody? Interface, deep understanding of interface. Okay, so the thing is, I'll take, okay, cool. So I'll take Q&A and I'll try to explain how we'll do a lot of other things. Okay, so what we do in our course content in Java is, okay, we follow typical Java 8 standard. Okay, and Java has undergone a lot of changes. Okay, and what we've done is like, till this level, interfaces, lambda expression, all. So what we do in the course, we have collections all and generics. Lambda expression is very newly introduced in what do you say, in Java 8, and it has got a lot of popularity for parallel programming and all. You have collection streams, lambda operations, very new to Java 8. Okay, people who have not yet got into Java 8, right, and most of the industry are migrating to Java 8 because of the the benefit here is, if you okay, you don't have to write a lot of code in Java 8. A lot of code is already written for you by the library. Okay, so you want to have a multi-threaded application, you can write a normal plain application and just use Java. Java, it will make sure that it internally generates, does everything best, so that it gives your program the best performance. Okay, concurrency from the framework. So this is what we do. And if you are comfortable with Java, right? Okay, and we'll have we generally have a lot of hands-on practices, like we have around 100 problems during the entire Java problems of varying degree of difficulty. Okay, as well as multiple projects. Okay, so I'll take Q&A from questions from everybody. Anybody does have any questions? Any questions? You, if you want, you can just ping me. I can unmute you. Just ping me. I'll unmute you. Prasanna, you wanted to ask something? Abhijit, Ankit, Pragya, Prasanna, Pragya, Rohit, Siddharth. Anybody? Any questions? Okay. Uh, so anybody? Any questions? Like okay, cool. So uh, I'll just tell you briefly about ZekeLabs. So we are a training institute or as a corporate learning center in ACS layout. We do corporate training as well as classroom training as well as online training both. And we have a lot of our online, like for every subject. For every subject, what we have here is we have a lot of practice code. If you go to the practice code, it will take you to the GitHub link for most of the subjects. If not live today, then automatically it will coming in for you. So every topic you can pick up and you will find a lot of practice problems, right, with solutions, with a lot of detailed logs, comments and all. Okay, similarly for all the subjects you will find the same. Okay, and the course curriculum that we cover here is typically of industry standards. Okay, if any questions, anything that I can respond to, that I can reply, that can be relevant to Java, not relevant to Java, anything at all? This is GitHub where generally all the code is existing, right? There were some questions regarding that. Okay, cool. Uh, thanks everybody. Thanks for your time. Okay, we'll meet next Saturday, 2 p.m. Okay, we'll cover some advanced Java concepts. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody. Okay, bye bye.